Hi, welcome to the midwinter doldrums at Animal Services. Of course, we're staying pretty excited about the hawks and all of that, but the weather's gray and kind of meh. And I have the feeling the rest of the community feels the same way we do. So brighten your day and join us for a little while and enjoy snuggling some of the animals that we have available for adoption. Now, if you came in and adopted, that would really brighten the midwinter doldrums. This is one of 9 Eurasian collared doves that we have left. We've placed quite a number of doves this month. Rock doves and ringneck doves, and this is an interesting bird because it's tame, but this is a species that has kind of invaded the Northwest, well, actually all of the United States. They do make great pets. As you can see, they're quite tame, easy to handle, kind of snuggly, and very attractive birds. But they do reproduce very readily, and they could be responsible for crowding out some of our native species. So anyone who adopts a dove like this, a Eurasian collared dove, excuse me while I get beaten here, sorry, needs to be aware that they absolutely cannot be released. That would not be a responsible thing to do, right? I know, you'd rather be tame anyway. That really loves their cage and their food and don't require as much space to be held in as some other doves. Have a wonderful soothing sound. There's this one that's a coo that sort of alternates with a maniacal giggle that makes you think something is loose in the building, that you don't want to be there. But it's really just a sweet little dove. Here it is January, and we've got kittens. Not very many, but kittens. This little one is a female. She's about 3 months old, and she came in with a litter, most of which has already been adopted. I don't know whether it's the fact that she's a solid black or exactly what it is, but she wasn't chosen yet. She's already made it down to the radio station today, and so she's had quite the adventure, but she's just as snuggly as she can be. This would be a great choice. If you have a family that includes gentle children, I think she'd probably be okay with that too. She is a little on the shy side, so you have to give her room to adjust. But beyond that, what a terrific little girl. Beautiful too. Aren't you? I know. Yes. This beautiful boy, orange tabby and white bicolor, short-haired, has a wonderful thick plush coat. This guy was brought to us with a rather cryptic information that he could not be controlled. And we don't really know what that means. Excuse me? He's a little camera shy, but beyond that, hasn't been difficult to live with. Now, I'm not sure how many people would actually attempt to control a cat anyway. That's more like the cat controlling us. But that's just my opinion. I don't know whether it was an issue of getting on furniture or counters or what. I gave up on that years ago, so it's merely not an issue of control at my house. Well, the counters are, but not the furniture. Anyway, he seems to be a heck of a guy, and just as solid and snuggly as he can be. So I'm not sure but what this wouldn't be a perfect kitty for somebody that is looking for a companion. I'm sure he'd be affectionate, but I'm not sure that he would be the kind of cat that you trip over constantly. He's more of a by your foot kind of guy. So he really has a very arresting face, I think. Anyway, handsome, you deserve a good home. Yes, you do. This guy is a really good-looking brown tabby. Has a nice personality. This one came to us because the person who received him as a gift, as a kitten, did not want a cat. You know how we're always telling folks, if you're planning to give someone a pet as a gift, give them a gift certificate. Let them come down and choose their own pet. This is an example. It simply didn't work. He's a nice guy, and I'm sure the person who brought him to us was also a very nice person, but the bond just wasn't there. Everyone should have the ability to choose a companion that they're going to keep for a lifetime, theirs or his, and yet they were good enough to bring him to us so that we can provide him with another opportunity. And whoever adopts them is going to be lucky indeed. He's a great cat. I would like for you to meet Kaiser. Kaiser belonged to a family who was relocating. I'd make an assumption that they were military, but that doesn't necessarily hold true. There are lots of jobs that require people to relocate. But Kaiser is the only long hair that we have in adoption right now. And what an outstanding cat. He looks a lot like a Norwegian forest cat. Now, I have no way of knowing whether that's what he really is, but he is exceptionally large, very fluffy, has the brilliant green eyes, and the brown tabby and white markings that are rather typical of those guys. So who knows? Could be. And he is definitely a very friendly cat. He's already neutered, and I think this guy would be super. There are a lot of people who say, oh, I want a short-haired cat because I don't want a cat that sheds. Short-haired cats shed as much as long-haired cats shed. I have 2 long-haired cats at my house, and I find that my very short-haired cat sheds as much, and it's much harder to get rid of the fur that gets into my fabric furniture or into the carpet than it is the long-haired cats, because with them I can just lightly brush over the surface with a damp cloth and the fur rolls right off. With the short-haired kitties, sometimes it sort of embeds and you have to really work at it or use a different kind of device to get the fur out. Of course, basically, if you have animals, you just have to vacuum every day and have done with it. Are you a happy guy? You are, aren't you? Look at you. He's adorable and so soft. Listen, petting him is just a very pleasant experience. We need to get you a little Seahawk helmet. Yeah. This guy is half of a pair that came in together. Not completely sure that they're litter mates, but we're making an assumption that they may be. He isn't actually black and white. He really is a brown tabby and white bicolor, but he has very broad markings, and he is absolutely beautiful. He has the golden orange eyes, and they're just startling in that white mask. He's already neutered, and like the previous kitty that we were talking about, his family is moving and is unable to take him with them. He could go with his buddy cat. I mean, this would be a pairing, and it's always better to get two cats than one cat. If you're working during the day, then they have each other. Or you can just adopt them separately, because while they like each other well enough, they're not necessarily that codependent. So it would work to get one or both. He is such a sweet guy. Wonderful white markings, and his fur is just milky. So nice. This is a cat that actually, after having talked to you about the embedding quality of fur, short fur, this guy has such a healthy coat. He's not shedding a lot at all. And I would be willing to hazard that he enjoys being brushed too. Right? Yes, well, he certainly enjoys being petted. This is baby girl. She might be willing to change her name for you. She is a kitty that's had to deal with quite a bit of grief in her 8 years, but she recently lost her owner, and she came to us in a very withdrawn, sad state of mind, but has gradually been able to come out of it. And while we do have a dental visit scheduled for tomorrow, that really is the only thing about this cat that isn't totally wonderful. This little one is scheduled for her dental. Have you been seeing the ads on TV about dental health? You know, that goes for animals too. You can keep a cat much healthier as long as you're sure that their teeth are well cared for. Same with dogs. Most of the dentists have the option for, well, the vets have the option for the gentle dentals too, which doesn't require that the animal be put under anesthesia, although this one probably will be, because I think she has some that have to be pulled. But just in general, that can add years and years to a pet's life. This one, we're recommending not go to a home with small children because, as Wilma, the cat woman at my shelter, says, it will eat them for lunch. But that would be terrible. We don't want that to happen. However, this is a really, really exuberant kitten that doesn't have any boundaries, has no idea what they are, and rips all of the stuffing out of her toys. I'm sorry. Great pet for a family that's prepared for her. Stay with us. We're going to go visit the dogs next. Oh dear. This little girl is one that we've already had spayed, so she's ready to go now. She's a pit mix of some sort, maybe a pit stew. I don't know. Anyway, she's very food motivated though, so she's going to be easy enough to train. I think I may have had a treat in my pocket, I don't know, a week ago. She can smell it. Anyway, probably, aside from the things that you need to know about any of the pitties, we definitely want to make sure that they have adequate, she's very strong, have adequate enclosures. So you definitely need a fence that she will not get out of. And believe me, she would probably be able to get out of anything under 6 feet. And probably no other female dogs in the household. We just do that routinely. Has nothing to do with your dog. Because gender aggression is very common in any of the bully breeds. I know, you're very sweet. You are. Yes, you are. I know. And we do not recommend her to be around any cats. She's definitely prey motivated, and having a cat in the family would just be a hazard for the cat. So, not a good idea. Probably you wouldn't want any small children around this one either, because she's awfully rambunctious. Maybe after she's been through training in another couple of years, she could be around kids. But right now, probably would not be a great idea. No, but she's lots of enthusiasm. Look at that. Oh, she really could be a great companion for a very active, older family. Yes, yes, you could. Okay, you ready to go? Can you tell that she saw food off camera? Isn't this a stunning dog? She's only about 2 years old. She is Hound. We're thinking Walker Hound, maybe with mix, which is common with our hounds that we see here. She has a wonderful soft mouth, and she's got terrific ears. I think they're just beautiful. She is a gorgeous dog, actually. And like all hounds, she's nose-driven. Wow. So, as long as you have a fenced yard, so she is not going to follow her nose into the next county, which she will do. Not much different than a beagle, really. I know. Oh, yes, I think you're great. Terrific pet. Hounds are different from other dogs. But people who have owned a hound typically will not own anything else after the first dog, because they are very rewarding and they make terrific pets. Yes, you just have to adjust. It's not a good idea to have small creatures around a hound. They are born to hunt. That's what their genetics tell them to do. And it's pretty hard to not obey your own genetics. So that's just the way they are. And it's an adjustment that families have to make if they want a hound to be part of their life. So probably no birds, no rabbits, no hamsters, unless you're not concerned about them becoming a snack, and I can't imagine anyone not being concerned. So that's just the way it goes. Yeah. And making sure that they're securely confined when you're not with them, because they will follow their nose. They will follow their nose after a raccoon that comes by or a possum, and they may not remember to come home until after they've caught whatever it was. And that could be a long way. It could. Yes, it could. Okay. This is Ginger. Ginger is about 8 years old. No. She is in very good shape. She has a couple of, they're called lipoma, which are simply tumors that are not invasive in any way, but are filled with kind of a fatty fluid. They can be removed. There's not much point in it. They usually come back. And dogs that get to be over the age of 6 or 7 are just kind of subject to them. It's one of those barnacles of life things for dogs. And this dog is just a particularly wonderful dog. She probably would do well with a family that is fairly sedentary. She would also do well with one that's moderately active. This is a dog that would ride in the car with you. It's a dog that would go on walks with you, definitely needs to go on walks with you, and yet would probably make a great house dog too. She is very personable, very easy to work with, and is definitely one of our volunteers' most favorites. So, I know, I was keeping you standing. That was kind of rude, wasn't it? It was. Yeah. But as long as her family keeps up on her dentals and goes for regular vet checkups, this dog has lots and lots of time left, I think. That's my instinct. And I think she's just worth every minute of it. She is such a sweet girl. This is the kind of dog you don't have to trip over every time you take a step. She's going to be there watching you, but she's not going to be right under your feet. She would alert you if anybody came to the house, but she wouldn't do anything about it, which can always be rather awkward. So I think that, anybody who wants a companion and wants to do a dog a favor would be very well served by coming to meet Ginger. I really like her. She's just cuddly, snuggly. Yeah, you are. You know what? The 4th dog that we were going to show you today got adopted right when we started filming. So this is it for the day. That changes around here, not just on a daily basis, but even an hourly basis, because we never know what's coming. We'd love to see you here. Come on down and visit. Take some time to visit with the dogs and cats and birds and rabbits. And for goodness sake, stay healthy.